It's book club whores. File in, file in. Get your wine, get your blunt, get your whatever you're into, and let's chat. Cause I ain't leaving alone. Feel like I could be honest, babe. We both know that we're grown. That's why I wanna know how many drinks would it take you to be with me? Yeah, you look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste my time. Hi. Welcome to my bubble. We'll do a little bit of adulting, a little bit of healing, and a little bit of creating. I have a thing with toothpicks. I don't know what it is. So, but whatever. That's not what we're here to talk about. Let me take this out of my mouth. I know. I'm late again, but I'm here. So, we are finally doing book club again. We read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I believe he's Brazilian. Yeah, born in Rio de Janeiro. It's book club whores. File in. Get your wine, get your blunt, get your whatever you're into, and let's chat. That's the title and the author. I'm going to read y'all the blurb per usual. Ready? Go. Paulo Coelho's enchanting novel has inspired a devoted following around the world. This story, dazzling in its powerful simplicity and soul-stirring wisdom, is about an Andalusian shepherd boy named Santiago, who travels from his homeland in Spain to the Egyptian desert in search of a treasure buried near the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself a king, and an alchemist, all of whom point Santiago in the direction of his quest. No one knows what the treasure is, or if Santiago will be able to surmount the obstacles in his path. But what starts out as a journey to find worldly goods turns into a discovery of the treasure found within. Bless. Lush, evocative, and deeply humane, the story of Santiago is an eternal testament to the transforming power of our dreams and the importance of listening to our hearts. Period. Like, what? And that's really what it is. Like, if you've ever read The Alchemist, you know, I'm pretty sure it counts as a fictional story. I mean, I'm sure somebody somewhere, has been Santiago. But it's really about, like I said, it's about this boy, this shepherd boy, who is not complacent, because that makes it sound bad. He's comfortable. He's comfortable in his life. He's comfortable in his routine and the regular cycles of his life, right? But he has this one dream to go see the pyramids in Egypt. And then he has this dream, and then he has a dream, and then he's like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to see the pyramids, period. And then he starts this whole journey. And, it's never that simple as just going to see the pyramids, right? He runs into all these people. He gets robbed, and then he's like, he has to restart, and then he's like, not on a tangent, but like, you know how we're always actively working towards our end goal, right? Like, I'm like, I want to buy a house that's 25,000 square feet. I'm not going to keep stopping until I get there, right? But in that process and along the journey, he has to take a hiatus, if you will, because of how the circumstances how the cards have been laid. But, most people, just like, how most people will, like, take a gap year from school, but then, like, never go back. Something like that. It's a great story. I love it. I don't want to get too, and that was already telling you more than enough. I don't want to get too far into it without giving y'all the whole story. You get me? But the simplicity of it speaks volumes. But also, we live in a reality / a world where we have been programmed to think that simplicity means it's the wrong answer. Most of the times, it's why it's the right answer. Ooh, excuse me, but I digress. Let's get into the questions. It's a book club. We have questions that we answer for every book. Duh. Question number 1. Were there any quotes or passages that stood out to you, and why? Absolutely. Considering it is a fiction story, it's not as much it's not a passage in the way that I could read passages from The Secret. If you haven't seen that book club, go watch that too. That's also a really good book. I'm not glad to have read that before reading this one, but I'm glad that they're like in tandem and went back to back. But, so there's really a bunch of quotes that could be taken to heart, but like when I got to the end of the book, these like stab, twist, pull, On page 142, the Alchemist says, I'm pretty sure it was the Alchemist, says, anyone who interferes with the personal legend of another thing will never discover his own. Which is crazy. Not crazy, but like, which is facts. Because karma. Like, do what you're here to do. Don't worry about what everybody else got going on. Don't worry about, like, don't put yourself in their business. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Do what you were here to do. Let them do what they're here to do. And if you were interfering with them, that's karma. Like, mind your business, basically. Focus on you. And even if, I don't know if interfere necessarily has a negative connotation, but like, even if you have to take part in someone else's personal legend or like in what they have going on, don't interfere. Don't hinder what they're trying to do. Play your part, be helpful, do what you can do, move on. Because that can be good karma for you, rather than interfering with whatever they got going on or try to like shift their perspective and stop worrying about what other people are trying to do and figure out what you want/need to do. That's one. And the other one was on page 146. I'm pretty sure the Alchemist also said this. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. For what the Alchemist represents in the book, like, that's such an Alchemist thing to say. That's so like, wow, you have the secret to life, right? But that's also facts too, because if you know the reason you are your own worst enemy and the reason you are the biggest obstacle for yourself, or even me, let me just speak me. First of all, fear is not even real, right? You know what's real? Joy. But fear is not even real. Fear is self-sabotage. The way that fear will keep people from doing X, Y, Z. Me, I want to go skydiving. Not indoor skydiving. I want to go skydiving. I want to jump out of a plane and pull the string and my parachute not explode, Jesus. Expand and become engulfed in wind, and I glide the bitch down to the ground. Like, that's what I want to do, because I think it would be fun and I think it would be a great time. But a lot of people are like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why would I jump out of a perfectly good plane? What if my parachute doesn't open? What if they gave me the wrong parachute and I don't have one? Like, all the what ifs and all that other shit. That fear is ridiculous. If there's a spider on the wall, I'm not walking past that wall. Why? I don't like spiders. I don't like that. And we're not talking like phobias, like arachnophobia or like trypophobia. You get me? Which phobias are different or interesting, I guess. Because me and trypophobia, it's not a phobia, like a fear for me. But me and trypophobia, it's like, oof. And no, I'm not going to put a picture up. Google it yourself. it's just, I don't know. Phobias are different, but like fears, in terms of just fear, like fear of failure. What if I don't make it? What if, what if you do make it, love? What if, and even so, it's, people will look at failure as like, it didn't happen in the way that I envisioned it happening. But that doesn't mean you failed. But we're not going to get deep today. We're talking about The Alchemist. Moving on. Question number 2. How did the book make you feel? What emotions did it evoke? I want to say there was a section where I got a bit emotional, got a little teary-eyed. I don't recall tears falling, but that's just because I'm a thug like that. I think it was at the crystal shop. Oh, Jesus, look at what I'm doing to myself. I think it was at the crystal shop when he was talking to the owner. That's all I'm gonna say. It just like it was the conversation of like being, I don't want to say complacent though, because the like being satisfied with where you are. Like, yes, I didn't get where I wanted, but along the way of trying to get there, circumstances evolved and led here. And even though I'm here is not where I was trying to be, but I enjoy it here. I enjoy it here. But then it's like, just because I enjoy it here, does that mean do not keep going? That was a real interesting, like, external conversation to be a part of. You get me? But yes, I might have gotten a little emotional there, I think. Question number 3. Have your personal views changed because of this book? If so, how? Personal views? No, because yes, I already knew, but I was already in the process of trying to implement these things in my life. You know, that subconscious voice that you hear just a little bit louder, peeking through all the screaming of the fear, right? Yeah, reading the book just made that voice of like, we can do this, a little bit louder. Not even louder in the sense of turning down the screen. I mean, you learn to turn down your fear on your own. But like, not even louder in the sense of turning down the fear. Louder in the sense of the room that voice is in is soundproof. So the fear is muted. If that makes sense. Well, not muted, but muffled. Sounding like underground or whatever. But not so much changed my personal views as much as added fuel to my gas tank that fuels my mission, my personal legend. Let's put it like that. If you don't know what a personal legend is, read the book and you'll know. Question number 4. What was your favorite chapter and why? This is a good one. I don't recall there really being chapters. There's the prologue and epilogue. But I don't really recall there being chapters. Yeah, it's just a ever-evolving story. Like, you just go through the story how you go through it. Like, sections are broken up, and like there are time gaps per se with the lines, you see? But it's not really in chapters. So if you know the book, I will say though that my favorite occurrence, let's say, is Santiago sitting on the hilltop trying to become the wind. Because, bro, why have I felt that? Not in that context and not, like, pressured to make it happen. But, like, really just sitting and talking to the wind and talking to the sky and talking energetically to the things around me. I've dead ass done that. And not that I thought I was crazy, but like, I know what I experienced. So it makes sense to me. I didn't know other people, it was happening for other people, basically. So that was cool. I was here for that. Last question. Come on, flying through this. This might be like the shortest book club ever. Was the book satisfying to read? Why or why not? Absolutely. Even if you take away the whole like, relate this to your life and you can accomplish everything you want to accomplish in your life. Woo! Even aside from all of that, as a as a fiction story, it has a good plot. It has a good like story curvature, whatever it's called, you know, peaks and troughs and blah blah blah. The story develops quite well. I would love, maybe not to, I was gonna say I would love to get like a part 2, like a more intricate / the full story of the epilogue, but like it's almost not open to interpretation, but like it's almost open for you to fill in the gaps of how it played out. The epilogue answers all the questions that you would have, but you can fill in the gaps on how it went. Shout out to love, bro. Love is so real. And I knew that before this, but like, it's just granted, it's not a love story. It might be a self-love story, but it's not a love story, but love will not stop someone from accomplishing their personal legend. Most people like to think that it does, or will try and convince you that it does, but it doesn't. And The Alchemist, if you read the story, is proof of how it won't. But yeah, that's book club. That was The Alchemist. If you've never read it, I recommend it. Scale of 1 to 5. We can add this as a new thing. Scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 5. Yeah, I'd give it a 5. I really enjoyed it as a story. And that's someone who used to write fictional stories. I really did enjoy it. I really, really did. If you read The Alchemist, tell me what you thought about it. Answer the questions in the comments. Recommend me some other books to read. I'm always open to pretty much anything. Fiction, nonfiction, self-help books. I don't know what you would really categorize them as. Like, what would you count The Secret as? Letters to a Poet. I don't know if it was fiction or not. Biographies. I read Winter's. See, I was right. Yeah, I'm open to a bunch of things. Next month, I'm switching it up a little bit. Instead of the first weekend of every month, we're going to do the last weekend of every month. So it's like we're going to finish off the month discussing the book. So for November, at the end of November, we are discussing Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I have just started it while I was sitting here eating. Literally just started it. Only read the introduction, starting chapter 1. It's me. If you know me, I started book club because back in my days, I wouldn't have even picked up a book that was this thick. We're trying new things. We're trying new habits. But yeah, it's good this far. And I like Jay Shetty from what little I know about him. I was introduced to him by the, what is Jada's thing? Red Table Talk. But listening to him talk and like what he stands for, I followed him and I like what he stands for. And think like a monk. Train your mind for peace and purpose every day. Period. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video and you don't know me, hi. My name's Naori. Stick around. You love it here. Duh. Embrace being a star. Subscribe. Follow on my socials. Bow. It's no excuses November. We pushing out content. Period. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I'd rather be smoking